for me, it's just, we still have a ton of respect for the team that we're playing against. We know how good of a team they are. We know how close every game has been. So we're not trying to think about next round or anything else right now. What we're trying to, make sure we're focusing on is to be at our best tomorrow, and that's all we can do right now. And obviously, you do that, then you give yourself your best opportunity.
Mike, you touched on that a couple nights ago. It seems like the past couple of years there has been a lot of focus on close it out. But you said we don't need to think about that. We just need to focus on playing the way
we just
we're
need to
playing.
play well. That's it. And because ultimately, that's what we want. We obviously we want to win the round and we want to advance and we want to keep competing here, but the reality is that's not going to happen unless we play real well. And so that's got to be our mindset coming into the game tomorrow. The focus on us, the focus on the things that we need to do better, the things that we've done well and need to continue doing. And like I said, when you do those things, then you give yourself a great chance.
Mike, when was the last time you didn't want to go to Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but again, I'm not. That's not the focus right now for me. The only focus is, and I know what tomorrow's game is going to be. And I know what to expect from them, and that's their absolute best. So we have to make sure we're at our best.
Mike, there's been a lot made about the shots against, for you guys obviously throughout the series. How big of a concern is that for you? Is that a concern?
Well, I think last game, it was, I would say, typical to game one in a lot of ways. When we grabbed the lead, we started to get a little bit softer in our game. I thought we backed off in our physicality. We certainly backed off in our execution as far as getting to the offensive zone and playing in the offensive zone. And it seems like we started playing a little bit safe. And so it's a fine line right now between making sure we defend, making sure we're in good position, and making sure that we're still firm and aggressive. And obviously that's what we're trying to work at here as a group, is make sure that we continue to get as close as possible to that line without going over it.
This might seem like a simple question, but how do you best try to contain Zach Parise, or is that even possible considering he's had a point in every single game?
Yeah.
And
he's an extremely hard competitor with skill, so that's a challenge, and obviously he's well surrounded out there, and it's not just him. There's a number of guys on the other side that are making it very difficult on us, as far as how we defend and how we have to try to keep them off the scoreboard, and even more so for us to get to our game. So he's obviously one of a number of players that we have to be aware of when he's on the ice, and it's not enough, just like I said before, to be in good position, because they're showing an awful lot of determination on that side to fight through those kind of things, and so we have to be ready.
Was there emphasis today on just shot volume and funneling more pucks to the net? Some of the guys had mentioned that in the locker room.
Well, you know what, we have to be careful, because in the I feel in the first three games, some of the times we've been in such a rush to shoot a puck that we end up missing a net and breaking out, or shooting one into a shin pads and losing our zone time. So we definitely need to have a shot first mentality. But that said, we can't be reckless and turning pucks over because of that. So sometimes you're in such a rush to try to get one shot, you lose the opportunity to get three. And I think that when we've been on top of our game, certainly we're shooting pucks, we're recovering pucks, but there's an element of poise to our game and confidence to our game, where we know that we can hang on to the puck and wait for a better opportunity if it's not there.
What has Marty Brodeur meant for Jake's mental approach and turnaround?
Well, I think that's probably one of the biggest areas is how he handles the days in between. What he can draw upon from his own experience as obviously arguably the best goaltender of all time. How are you able to play at that level all the time? Obviously, you learn very quickly that you put the past behind you, you learn from it, whatever, but you find a way to get focused and feel good and confident going into the next one, and I think that's what we're seeing with Marty.
Paul's playing and being up 3-0 in the series, does that give you more time to let him
Paul's day to day, the same as what he was the other days.
What do you think about that?
I thought he had a good practice. Yeah, he looked good.
If he's day to day, could tomorrow be the day?
Well, every day is a new day. I'm running out of little things to say here.
Mike, Jay Bomeister, have you described his personality? Is he as quiet a defenseman as you've coached?
He's a quiet personality who just goes out and plays at his best. He's an unbelievable professional who has so much respect from his teammates, and it's interesting to see somebody who's that quiet but gets on the ice and his game speaks so loudly. And you just have to respect that. I mean, he's one of those types of players that as a coach you have to force yourself to go talk to him, and that's because he's going out there and he's doing the things that you're already asking. So obviously he's a great pro for us.
When I covered him in Florida, he was supposed to be the next Bobby Orr. I mean, it really was that. I mean, how impressed are you that he's able to have, really carve out a career like this where a lot of people early in his career called him a bust and things like that because he wasn't getting the points?
I'm extremely impressed, and I know a little bit about the story, and obviously I followed his career, but for me, what he's doing right now is what matters most, and he's a gamer. He's a guy that when the game's on the line, you want him on the ice, and you want him out against the best players, and he defends with poise, he defends with confidence, and obviously I'm sure it's tough when you come in as a young player, but the way that his game's evolved and the way that his career has evolved and what he is right now, and you look at the big stage, what he's done at the World Cups and the World Championships, and playing against the best players in the world, it's pretty impressive.
Adding to that, add Petro to that, are these guys playing as good as you've seen them play together?
I think that combination has been real solid together, and they've been playing well. Again, I think that there was a real key moment for us and a key time for us as a group when we came out of that 5-game losing skid that we asked some of our leaders to step up, and certainly those guys have done their job.
Is it amazing that Petro doesn't get more kind of press league-wide?
Yeah, he's a guy that even for me coaching against him, it's one of those players that when you actually start to coach him and you start to see all the little parts of his game and how good he is, that it takes that appreciation up to another level. So I think we have a few players like that that do a lot of little things very well, and a lot of those little things help you win hockey games, but a lot of those little things aren't going to make the highlight reel, but bottom line is if we keep winning, then those guys will get the recognition that they deserve.
Without asking about Stassi's status again, you did say that he looked good. What did you like?
I thought he was skating well. I thought that he was involved in every drill, and certainly conditioning didn't look like it was an issue, and timing and execution didn't look like it was an issue either.
You said when he's getting under someone's skin, under the other team's skin, he's doing his job. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I think he's got more than that to do, and I think when we see Revo and we see him at his best, and you see examples of it last game, that there's going to be opportunities in some games and most games for that matter for him to impact the game physically. He had a real big hit last night, and it's found a way pretty much every game to have at least one real big hit. I think that when he's doing his job right now is obviously he's looking for those opportunities, but his biggest job right now is that we're playing those guys against top lines. We're giving them tough shifts, and they're playing the game well. And so, again, when those opportunities present themselves, that's great. We need that from him, but we also need him to be a great player and a strong player, and heavy in his role, and he's doing that right now.
What does scoring first allow you to do in terms of getting into your structure?
Oh, it's obviously scoring first is big. I don't know if it allows us to do anything differently. It allows us just to, I would say, maybe focus on defensive game, but I think in some ways that's hurt us at times too. So for us, it's about playing 60 minutes the same way. We've been better at that some games than others, and so if they score first, if we score first, then we have to make sure we come out and play the right way tomorrow.
Like there were 4 overtime games last night. I know you're focused on your series, but what does it say about the league as a whole, the parity?
It's we all feel that right now. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the league that goes into a game feeling comfortable against the opponent that they're playing, and so you deal with that and you learn that through the course of the regular season. And obviously, playoffs right now is whether it's the overtimes or whether it's teams that are so-called underdogs being on top right now. It's pretty obvious that there's an awful lot of parity in this league.
Mike, after you gave up the 6-on-5 goal in Game 1, you said we'll be better at it, and you have been the last 2 games. Anything you've done differently, or what has it been?
A little bit.
Just why do you think you've been looked better?
Because they didn't score. No, I mean, without getting into specifics, it was just, and I just even looking at last game, I thought we were lucky on one occasion, but you know, it's you have a structure that you have to have, but you can't be soft and you can't be slow. You have to continue to pressure and you have to continue to be aggressive. And obviously they have an extra guy out there, so you know somebody's open, and you have to make sure that you find a way to take away their time and space. So hopefully they can't find them. Why we should expect anything incredibly different next game? I don't know that they're going to go out there and reinvent their game. As we said in Game 3, I feel that the desperation that we saw in their Game 2 is going to be hard for them to ramp that up. They knew that was a must-win for them. I think they knew that last game was a must-win game for them. And obviously next game it's become a must-win for them. So, I don't think we need to be intimidated, but we certainly need to be extremely respectful of what they can do if we're not on top of our game. And that's what we've done up to this point. We should not come into this game tomorrow waiting to see what they're going to bring to us. We have to be respectful of how we need to play the game and make sure we're sharp, but there's no reason why we shouldn't be the aggressors.
Mike, they've had their way most of the series in the face-off. Why hasn't that hurt you or come back to bite you?
Well, I don't know that it hasn't, to be honest with you. I mean, you look at the shot volume, and obviously that's been a key factor in that. There's been a number of occasions where, our forwards are getting picked to the inside and they're getting scoring chances off that. So, it continues to be a battle and one that we're focused on and one we continue to work at.